Coach Tony, Wrestling Podium Performance, and today I'm going to be talking about which protein supplements are the best to be taking post-workout for recovery and for performance. We basically have to break it down into three main types. We have our plant-based, our whey proteins, and our beef-based proteins. So unless you are a vegan or vegetarian, I would say stay away from a plant-based source. It's not going to have a full spectrum of amino acids, it's not going to be as beneficial, and it's going to be overpriced for what you get. Now, yes, there's different types of them now. You've got hybrid types of different plant-based sources. You got pea source, you've got rice-based sources. You have soy protein, which is the worst one you should be even going near. So for the most part, I always recommend stay away from them unless you are a vegan or vegetarian. Stick to whey or beef protein. So which one is best, beef or whey? If we're talking strictly post-workout for performance reasons, recovery, whey protein is superior. Why is it superior? Well, first of all, the amino acid profile of whey protein is going to be more beneficial to recovering faster and for muscle protein synthesis immediately after workout. Reasons for this is it digests faster. The amino acid profile in it has a higher number or a higher proportion of branched chain amino acids, including leucine, which helps to kickstart muscle protein synthesis as long as we get an adequate amount. One of the great things about whey protein is that the constituent components of it, the amino acids, it has a high proportion of the branched chain amino acids. While we hear a lot of hype about them for intra-workout, they're really not all that beneficial intra-workout. A lot of people end up just peeing away their money and throwing it away. Inside of a whey protein, where it's got all of the other essential amino acids as well as with the branched chain amino acids, it creates an environment where you're able to then recover much faster. Another big benefit to whey protein is because of the demand, but also because of the abundance of it on the market, it's fairly cheap. But what is whey protein? Basically, whey protein is when you are in the manufacturing process of cheese, is that liquid runoff that you get. So basically they take that, they dehydrate it, they dry it up, and then it becomes a powder, which is whey. It's whey protein. So from there, it just gets processed a little bit further so that it's a little bit easier to transport. It's better to mix to make different flavors, but also so that it becomes more concentrated as a powder. Basically, the biggest thing that they do is they really dry it out, and some of the other processes that go into it is they take away some of the contaminants that can be in it, which can just be from the manufacturing process of cheese, but it can also just be what was actually inside the whey itself. So there's different processes that they do. So some of the better whey proteins on the market, when you take a look at the ingredient label, it's only going to have a couple key ingredients. So when you take a look at a high quality protein supplement and you're looking at the ingredient label with whey protein, there should only be a few key ingredients on there and nothing else. You should basically be getting whey protein as the main ingredient, followed by maybe a little bit of sweetener or flavoring, which is coming from a natural source such as stevia, and then maybe an emulsifier like a xanthan gum. A lot of people are worried about emulsifiers and whatnot. There's no evidence that they're negative to your health. It actually helps the whey dissolve in any liquid that you're mixing with, whether it's milk or water or juice. Post-workout, the best thing to take your whey protein with, mix it with some water, shake it up, drink it. So the ATP Labs makes an excellent whey protein. Other companies make some excellent whey proteins as well. What you want to be looking for is a New Zealand whey, a Swedish whey, or something that is grass-fed. The reason for this is it's going to have the highest quality raw ingredient behind it. Now let's take a look at beef protein. Beef protein, fairly expensive per serving. That's the biggest negative determining factor to it. If you have a whey allergy or intolerance, beef protein post-workout is your next best option. Why is that? Well, it still has your full complement of essential amino acids, but it's just not as quickly absorbing or digesting in the body. Just think, when you have a steak, it takes a while for it to kind of get digested. But although we've basically, in the process of making a hydrolyzed beef protein supplement, they've made it so that half the digestion process is already over. However, it still takes quite a bit of metabolic energy to actually break apart the amino acids from one another, just how they're formed in beef, so that it can then be absorbed in the bloodstream. But this still takes time. And post-workout, if we want immediate recovery to be going on as quickly as possible after workout, we want to be reaching for what's going to be the fastest absorbing. How is it that beef is so much more, or how is it that beef is actually very beneficial or superior in other ways? One, it keeps you full longer. So if your goal is weight loss, beef-based protein supplements is going to be the best option for you, especially because it's going to keep you full longer. It's going to help you reach your protein goal. It's going to make it so that you're not craving other foods as often, which is going to help you keep your caloric intake down. Now, when we compare the two, for example, a beef-based protein, typically you're going to get a lot less in a container if the price point is going to be anywhere near competitive. The reason, the raw ingredients for a beef protein is very high. The ingredient label as well, just like with the whey protein, should only have a few constituent ingredients on it. Beef protein should be number one, maybe something to sweeten it like a stevia plus maybe some organic cocoa or vanilla just to give it a little bit of flavor so it doesn't taste like beef, because that's not really going to be appetizing. And then it's going to have an emulsifier again so that it actually mixes with water. So as we compare and contrast the two, if your main goal is fat loss, weight loss, and whatnot, go for the beef protein. Yes, it's going to be more expensive, but it's going to help you get to your goals in that way much sooner. Now, if you are an avid exerciser, workout person, you go to the gym, you're a bodybuilder, or you're a competitive athlete, reach for whey protein. It's going to be a little bit cheaper, it's going to absorb faster, and because it's going to absorb faster, you're going to start to recover a little bit quicker. If you're only going to the gym once, twice a week, you're not really worried about quick recovery in that case. You're more worried about hitting your protein goal, losing some weight, being a little more active. So then reach for something that's going to be a little longer lasting and that's going to help you get to that weight loss goal much more easily. So just to recap, whey protein, performance, recovery, it's much better for those goals. Beef protein has a lot of hype behind it right now. It's a little inferior in terms of performance and for recovery, but it's superior in terms of keeping you satiated or keeping you full for longer, as well as if you have any intolerance to whey, it's the next best option. Between the two, you have the perfect protein supplement mix. Post-workout, go with the whey protein. If you're just trying to get a little extra protein into your diet, go for the beef protein. Coach Tony, Wrestling Podium Performance, embrace your potential.